Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are finally back with a video, which is something I've been saying actually for quite a lot of my videos in this past year, and quite honestly, I just really needed a break. I think just playing the F1 game this year, although the handling has been fun, I just really haven't enjoyed the dynamics of the game. Not really been getting the results I've wanted, not been particularly motivated to play the game, and with that really and some other things, just real life being busy as well and certain events there, I just really needed a bit of a disconnect and just to step away and just to enjoy myself. And yeah, I think sometimes that is something that is definitely needed. I always recommend that. But you can see here, this is not F1, this is iRacing, and you will probably be seeing quite a few videos on this in the very near future, because I wouldn't say I have quite fallen in love yet, but being back in this game has made me realise how much maybe perhaps there are other things out there in F1 that can be quite often a lot more enjoyable. Because on iRacing, obviously this is a sim, and just the feeling you get from the game is just unlike absolutely anything else. And what you're seeing here is the Super Formula Lights, a very popular series, and you might have noticed at the start of this video, if you are into iRacing, you'll know exactly what I mean. I, for some reason, decided to join this when setups are enabled, and I do not have a setup. So, yeah. Something I wouldn't advise if you want to improve your iRating. So yeah, I decided to join this lobby without having a setup. So I'm completely on stock. And the main difference in having a setup around here, Watkins Glen, which is a track I really enjoyed. I've driven it on quite a few other racing games, such as Taco Race Driver, Forza Motorsport in the past, and even iRacing back a couple of years ago when I played it. Absolutely love this circuit. And yeah, it was a very small countdown for this race, and normally you have to wait quite a while for the next one, so I thought, you know what, let's just jump in here and do the best you can, because these cars I absolutely love to drive. They've just got a lot of downforce, very planted. You don't have to worry about the ERS or the fuel modes or anything like that at all. There's no DRS like in the F1 game where there's a million things you have to do whilst you're driving. It's not just about driving, it's about managing everything. Here it is just get in and drive, and that is simply what I want. So yeah, we jumped to this a little bit last minute. I had done a bit of practice around this track, and this is a track I really enjoy as well. Felt like I got to speed quite well, and this is the end of the qualifying. See, the first lap I spun out, and yeah, we come home in P8 here, which I think we're going to be a little bit lower. I think we ended up in P10, as you can see, and with a setup, it is about a second you gain with a setup. So I am losing a lot of time because I haven't got a setup here. So trying to get a good start, and honestly, I was just using this as an experience just to get back into a race again. And yeah, the main thing with a setup here is the straight line speed. You will see in this race that we are very good in the corners. We actually make up a lot of time in the corners, but in a straight line with the top guys, which you'll see towards the end of this video, we are losing probably about a second on the straights. So the two main straights, probably half a second, possibly more on each straight. And you can even see here, I'm in the slipstream, and this guy is just pulling away. And I don't think everyone had a setup here. You will see some more videos of this series moving forward where I actually go in a fixed race, so everyone is running exactly the same thing. Because I felt like my pace was really good, and I was just really enjoying myself. And again, that is the main reason why I've just had a bit of a step away. I just wasn't enjoying F1. A lot of people had advised me for years, saying, why don't you just try something else and just have fun with what you're doing? So I decided to take that advice, and jumping back in iRacing again, I've been doing the Super Formula Lights, I've been doing the Formula 4 and the Formula Ford, which is basically like the Formula V on steroids. Honestly, if you have a PC and it's capable of running iRacing, I really encourage you to download it and play, because just the connectivity and the forces you get through the wheel, the feedback you get from the game, you just feel so connected. And the way the online works, basically the cleaner you are, the more rewarded you're going to get. And you can see here, there's an example of a guy ahead of me. He's definitely running a setup because in a straight line, he is so much faster. This guy just rams into the barrier. God knows what happened to him. But yeah, if we just stay on board here for a second and just see the difference in the straight line speed. So you'll see I'm in the slipstream here now, and with a fixed setup, I would be getting past him pretty quickly. But because his setup here has got on board is so much faster in straight line, I think you can see here now, even with the slipstream, we are being sucked in. But look at the go out the slipstream, look how much time we lose. So yeah, that's how much we're losing on the straights. But then it's up to us to make up this time in the corners. So we got a really good start to this race. We started in P10, currently in P6. So I kept on making some really good starts because the first couple of laps of tyres are very cold, and I was seeming able to deal with that actually quite well. So yeah, we're making quite good progress here. And in the corners, I was really fast. So I don't know if that is a setup thing, where they are just very fast on the straights, but not as much downforce in the corners, or we are just driving really well. When I was doing a fixed practice session, I was quite often the fastest guy in the session. And I think, again, jumping on iRacing, one of the main things I've really struggled with the F1 game this year is that you have to do this really aggressive driving style, this flicking in technique, especially in qualifying. And for F1 25, if you are not starting high up the grid, it's going to be very difficult for you to make progress against people who are on an equal pace to you, unless you do a massive tyre offset where you go very long into the race, or you do like a massive undercut or something like that. Once the tyres kind of degrade, you are pretty much stuck, and the slipstream is almost non-existent in F1 25. So qualifying is very, very important, and that's something I've always struggled with. I've never been the best at qualifying, because qualifying you just have to be throwing everything you can. And you can see here on the straights, I should just skip to this a second, you can see, look how much time we're losing to the guys ahead and the guy behind because we are running a fixed up. So I would say we're probably losing about 5, sometimes up to 7 tenths per straight going to here. But then we make it up in the corners. So you can see going through these corners now, this is where we are going to be making up. And we are currently in, what we are, P6 at the moment, if I can read that correctly, P5. I think we're actually, P5. So making up 5 positions. But again, just going back to what I was saying, yeah, the F1 game this year is very, very reliant on the qualifying. And for me, I'm someone with my driving style being very smooth, that usually will be pretty good in the race when the tyres are going off and you have to manage things and you have to constantly adapt. But I actually think my driving style really suits iRacing, especially cars such as this as well, as you saw in the first few laps. And as you see throughout this video and the video I'll be uploading next week, because I might be doing a watch along of the Grand Prix this weekend, so stay tuned for that, or if I go live with that this weekend. But yeah, I think on iRacing you just have to be so smooth, and obviously it's more of a real sim, if you want to call it a complete true sim. But this guy, luckily he puts his brakes on, otherwise that would have been our race over. But I really think the smoother driving style that I do is going to be much, much more beneficial on a real sim compared to maybe, as you would call it, a simcade that the F1 series is. So we will wait and see. But right now, no, in these past few weeks, I've been doing a lot of races. I've recorded, I think, like 7 to 8 videos that I will be uploading on this channel. So make sure you subscribe if you want to see more of that. Also, join my Discord as well, because I have released my one-to-one coaching sessions again, or actually I will be releasing them tomorrow at www.coachlimitless.net. So it's changed from .com to .net, something I'll update as well. But yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun and not been worrying about making videos or anything like that. I've just been enjoying myself, to be honest. And that's something I've just really focused on in these past few weeks. And yeah, if anyone has some advice on how to stop the game stuttering as well. So when I'm playing it, it's absolutely fine, but I have noticed when I watch it back in the recording, maybe because I'm using like an ultra wide screen or something like that, I do notice it like kind of stutters a little bit when I watch the video back. But yeah, let me know if there's any settings I need to change to make that happen. But you can see we are up into P4 now, And the goal, if I could get a podium in this race, I would be very, very happy with that. And the guys ahead of me are very fast. But again, if I was running a setup, a lot of people told me that you would be gaining probably like 8 tenths minimum to maybe even like a second or something like that. So you can see, if we look at the delta on the right-hand side, you just see, look how much time we are just losing in a straight line. And you can hear me, or not hear me, but you can see me muttering to myself there, exactly that. So yeah, we're going to try and make up all that time. So you can see for the midfield section, we gain pretty much all the time back, but then I'm going to be losing it on the straights. And in this car, you need to be within about 6 tenths to pick up the slipstream. So if we could just make it to the 6 tenths, then we have an opportunity. And yeah, if we could get a podium here with a fixed setup in a setup enabled race with these drivers here who are pretty fast as well, you can see we're really pushing the car. And I think you could just see by my expression and just me probably hear in my voice as I'm commentating this, I was just so, I don't know, I'm just so much happier playing this game. I don't know if I've been playing F1 for too long or something like that, but I was just having fun. And I think that's probably something I've kind of almost forgotten to have, playing the F1 game for so long, because I feel like that's the game I just have to play all the time. But I think moving forward, I'm just going to be doing things that I actually enjoy. And with iRacing, there is just an endless list of cars and tracks, and to really improve my iRating, I think I would love to be getting to the end of this year to about a 4K iRating. If I could get to something like that, then, or between 3.5 to 4K, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. And I managed to improve my iRating quite a bit just in 1 week as well, along with my safety rating. So yeah, that's the goal. And you can just see we have been just really, really consistent. And I think that's the thing, consistency outweighs. But we're coming across a guy, I think, who's been lapped here. And this has given me an opportunity to get close to the guy in P3. So this guy ahead of me, he is a lap down. I don't know if he's obligated to move, but I think he will be getting blue flags as well. So we get a really good run. And yeah, I was just hoping that he would just let off the gas, get me back on the racing line, but he just decides to stay alongside me, which is quite annoying. I don't know why he just didn't let me go, but yeah, you can see a little shake of the head there. But yeah, I don't know if he was obligated to move. I don't think you actually have to do it or anything like that at all. So we are just trying to close in again. And you can see this is the section where we're going and got most amount of time. So I knew at this point, this is the closest I have been. And if you look at the delta, we're about a second down at the moment. But going through the corners, we are just absolutely throwing it in, absolutely slamming it on the throttle. You see, gaining another tenth going through here. We need to be within 6 tenths. If we can get within 6 tenths, even though we won't overtake him on the straight with the slipstream, at least we won't be losing any time on the straight because we have the slipstream as well. So going through this section, I really like this left-hander. It's really awkward. You have to kind of ignore the first part of the apex, hit the middle apex, you can see, gaining the time. So we're 0.7, 0.8, and going through this last corner, we've just got to absolutely send it through here. This guy is crashing to the wall, and luckily he puts the brakes on again, but that has allowed us to get within half a second. And now we are within the slipstream for the battle for the podium. So got to get a really good launch coming off here. You can actually go very wide through that corner. He gets a pretty poor run, and this is exactly where we need to be. So I think there's going to be, I think, maybe a couple laps of this race to go. So once it's, the way iRacing works is that once it hits 20 minutes, I believe, but once it gets close to 20 minutes, and depending how long the lap is, it will only add on another lap other than that, which I hope that makes sense. What I just said there is something I had to get used to myself. But you can see we're getting very, very close now, and I didn't know if I wanted to be ahead or if I wanted to just be very close, because again, he's always going to be faster in a straight line. We've got to rely on the momentum. So you'll be able to see, I think, coming out of this corner, so we gain quite a lot of time in the corner. On the exit, we gain a lot of time here, and through the first half of the straight, we can use the momentum, but it's at the end of the straight that's where his top speed will kick in. As you can see, we're gaining, and now he's regaining it back again, so we have to be further alongside than that. And this is the section again where we're going to be very close, so I just want to try and force him into mistake as much as possible. The tyres are slowly but surely starting to go off, and I'm pretty sure next lap is going to be the last lap of the race. So I think it will tell me if it is going to be a white flag for the last lap of the race as well. So again, trying to be as close as we possibly can. You can see the white flag. So final lap is now coming up, and I was so determined. The amount I've been pushing to get back within this podium position, you have no idea. So going really wide here, getting off track, but I don't mind sacrificing a bit of iRacing or safety rating to get this position. So you can see having to do a little bit of a lift here, and you will just see if we go out the slipstream, he just gains all that time back. So we're right tucked up behind him now, so at least we're not going to be losing anything. And you can see here that at the top end, we're actually starting to lose. So just try and force him to defend as much as possible. And I was thinking about going on the outside. He covers that off quite nicely. We're going to try and go around the outside again for this left-hander because we've got so much more speed in the corners. I tried to brake really late. He covers that off really well, trying to get a good exit. So try and go side by side of him. So force him to defend this inside, but he's actually doing it very well. So it's all about this exit now if we want to get on the podium. So get a really, really good exit. We have to be much further alongside than we were last lap, and we are pretty even, but we've still got really good momentum. It's whoever blinks most in the braking zone, and we just outbrake him going into here. Get the move done up into the podium position, and right now, you can see the smile on my face there. All we have to do is just navigate these last few corners, and with the downforce we have, the lack of straights here, it should be the podium done. So coming through into the last corner now, the leaders have already finished. They're way up the road and taking this nice and easy and coming across the line. We're going to come home in P3 after starting P10 as well, whilst running a fixed setup. I was very happy of that, and honestly, I loved it. I just absolutely loved it. Just having to be that consistent, having to push that hard as well. It's just something completely different from what I'm used to, and no, I just really enjoyed it. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like it. Comment down below what you would like to see next. I will be uploading a fixed race that I did from this series just to show you kind of what my true pace actually is in these cars. But P3 from P10, very happy with that. And you can see, because of that, lost a bit of safety rating, but gained quite a bit of I rating because of that result. But thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you very soon. Peace.